the news media could find ways to kind of ignore or tamp down nonsense from Trump.
Tamp down.
It's just total nonsense. But those
if
people
the news could find a way to lie,
listen to it and assume if it can be on the air and it's out there, it's the truth.
You had the pulpit. How did you lose it? Maybe it's not about how much messaging and how much you can control the air. Maybe it's that your message is awful. Government shutdown. Today is day 20 of the government shutdown. I'm not going to lie to you. I know some people are affected. It's been affecting me pretty much zero. I just don't want you to think like I'm acting like I'm one of the people. Really, I'm really not, and I think that's a lot of Americans. I mean, of course, I understand some people who are nervous. This is the third longest in history. But here's the funny thing. We're at a very different kind of juncture. Remember in the past, we're going, are they going to blame this on Republicans or are they going to blame this on Democrats? This really is, we've done a segment on it. It really is something you can kind of lay at the feet of Democrats because their holdout is they'll fine you for not purchasing health care, right? That's what they signed into law with Obamacare, a fine. But they want you to subsidize health care for illegal aliens. And conservatives, Republicans have said, no, that's just a bridge we're not willing to cross. So how is the public receiving this? And in a perpetual state of surprise, Harry Enten over there at CNN was like, wow, this actually, it seems like Donald Trump, his approval ratings are doing just fine. They're blaming Democrats.
It turns out shutdowns are different the second time around when it comes to Donald Trump. Take a look here. You know, we speak about Donald Trump shutdowns, net approval rating. We're talking 20 days into it. In 2018/2019, Donald Trump's net approval rating was already falling. The shutdown was eating into his popular support. It was down 3 points already at this particular point and would fall considerably more. It was very much on the decline. You come over to this side of the screen.
We get it.
This shutdown hasn't eaten into Donald Trump's support at all. His net approval rating is actually up a point in terms of his popular support. It comes down to the blame game, a game I loved to play when I was younger. Blame Trump for the shutdown, a great deal. In 2018/2019, 61%, more than 3 in 5 Americans blame Trump a great deal for that particular shutdown. You come over to this side of the screen, look at this. It's a different world. It's a different world. 48% of Americans blame Trump a great deal for this particular shutdown. So it's more than 3 in 5 back in 2018/2019. It's less than half, a drop of 13 points. Again, it's no real wonder that Donald Trump at this point, looking at the shutdown, says, you know what, it's not actually harming me politically.
Yeah, and one thing that I will say, I've noticed a trend. It just seems like the numbers are solidifying as far as a base for conservatives.
Yeah.
So his approval rating is not crazy. Well, yeah, very often presidents have approval ratings that are below half. But his doesn't oscillate nearly as much as we've seen with other presidents. I think that now we kind of are seeing a country form two camps. And there's less and less of that center, that swing voter. I think that's the era we'll be kind of walking into. And here's the thing, the left doesn't know how to fix it. Rather than blame themselves, and you really do have to, I'm going to get to Robert De Niro in a second. The left really should look in a mirror because for the longest time, all the way up to and including Donald Trump's first election, they had control of the media. They had control, of course, of our institutions, higher education. They still do. They had control of Hollywood, of mainstream press, all of it, right? ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, CNBC, all of it, and even the major websites, and even the major, at that point, online channels. Remember Vox, the Vox Apocalypse? So they had control of everything that should matter, and they still lost. So now their solution is, we got to get back the reins of control. And by the way, when the left says that, what they really mean is coercion. So here's Robert De Niro figuring out the problem. Why are more and more people supporting Donald Trump, at the very least, not supporting the left in any capacity? Here's his logic.
Trying to signal to the people they reach, and I'm certainly not reaching those people on this program, but maybe through little sound bites and this and that, and, you know, the internet and so on. They're trying to, they're used to seeing Trump do his stuff, and they talk and they listen, and that's the truth to them because they don't listen to anything else. It's somewhere way out in the Midwest, somewhere out in the out west, in certain places, the rural places. That's the truth. Because he gets the airtime, and I think that we need more airtime, just more push against, and not. I wish that you can't do this in some ways, but that the news media could find ways to kind of ignore or tamp down nonsense from
Tamp
Trump.
down.
It's just total nonsense. But those
If the
people
news could find a
out
way to
there
lie.
listen to it and assume if it can be on the air and it's out there, it's the truth.
I'm amazed as to how inarticulate he is. He's not able to find any descriptive words for anything. You know, he's got the thing, you know, the thing, and then out there in the rural area, I don't know, the place. What?
West. Go west.
I don't know, somewhere like Bismarck,
Yeah, some place, scary Wyoming, right? No. Look, listen.
Des Moines.
Whose fault is that? This is the important thing. Whose fault is it? It's like, we don't have enough airtime. Okay? Once upon a time in these other areas, they could only get one point of view. As a matter of fact, that was all of America. It was the left. It was the left's point of view. Why did that change? Let's go to just the numbers, for example. CNN, their primetime viewership. They used to get about 929,000 in 2018. Now it's about 538,000. MSNBC, 2018, 1.7 million average, now about 802,000. So here's the thing. When you guys were in control of media, you were in control of messaging, okay? You somehow lost it. Meaning at that point, you were king of the hill. How'd you tumble down that hill? Tamp down. You did tamp down. He says, you know, he gets too much coverage. You blew it. Well, sure he gets. But when all the coverage was negative. So there was a total blackout of right-leaning voices on media. They used to point to Fox News. That was one exception. Okay? You had the pulpit. How did you lose it? Maybe it's not about how much messaging and how much you can control the air. Maybe it's that your message is awful. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's that America has rejected everything you guys stand for. He actually thinks that if they could go back to where they were 2015, 2016, 2018, that would fix things. That's how you squandered your lead. You had the most popular president ever. You foisted it on the American public, Barack Obama. We now know that it was a big lie. You fumbled it. And their solution is always more control.
It's because they can't win with their ideas. Now, it's just no self-awareness whatsoever. And look, I understand that happens to people sometimes on both sides. You get kind of like tunnel visioned. But hopefully one day you kind of take a step back and go, maybe it's the message that we have right now that the American people are rejecting and not just the airtime issue.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. And I listen, you want to hear authoritarian? We can't win on the message. So let's make sure that the other guy who's changing people's minds can't speak.
Right.
That's the solution.
That's always
Not like,
what it
hey,
is.
let's get together and figure it out and get a better message. It's just shut them up.
This is the left's play. Look, the left's playbook is always eliminate you, whether figuratively or literally. Hey, Donald Trump is really popular. Eliminate him. Let's impeach him. Let's hit him with some bullshit charges.
Yeah.
Wait, people on the right are actually they're actually achieving success on alternative media. Now it's not really alternative, but YouTube early on. Let's demonetize them. Let's shadow ban them. Wait, people are on campus with permits, changing the minds of kids. Let's kill them. Wait a second. Parents are actually speaking out at parent-teacher conferences, and parents are stopping their children from being walking medical experiments. Let's have the state take 8-year-olds from their parents and hide them in another state where we can give them puberty blockers. We'll call it a sanctuary state. Their solution is always elimination of your voice. And if they can't do that, they will eliminate you as a person. We see it time and time again. They don't have a plan B. Fat, vagina, is exactly what I would say if I wasn't here on YouTube. So go and subscribe on Rumble. Same channel where free speech is actually alive and well. Or you can stay here and the